Hi friends, we've noticed today that when we are multiplying decimals, you are multiplying correctly because you're getting the right digits in your product. Remember, your product is the answer to multiplication problem, but you're not remembering the strategies that we used this year to place a decimal, which means your answers are wrong because it changes the value of the number. So we're going to go over two strategies. I hope after you hear this, you remember, oh my gosh, I did this at Miss Smith and Miss Shockley's table over and over again because we did. And I'm going to show you them separately first, and then I'll show you how you can use it combined to find where to put the decimal in your product. So the first way is by simply counting the decimal places in your factor. Remember, the word factor means the two numbers that you multiply. So in my first example right here, 1 and 2/10 times 4, I have one decimal place value because that's how many place values are behind the decimal. And there's no decimals in 4 right here, right? There's none. So 1 and 2/10 times 4, I'm going to put a little number 1 over here because that tells me I should have one decimal place in my product. So then you multiply like normal. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. 48. I don't think that's correct, which we'll get to in our second strategy, because I know I should have one decimal place. So I go to the back of my product, count one time, put my decimal here. Now it's 4 and 8/10, which is correct. My second strategy is what you need to get in the habit of doing every time you do any problem of any operation, especially once you get to middle school next year. You have to estimate your two factors and then reason. Is my answer logical? So the way that looks is you look at the first factor, 1 and 2/10. 2 tells me to round down or stay the same, rounds down to 1. 4, of course, stays the same. 1 times 4 right here. Now I multiply is 4. So that tells me my product should be about 4. After you do that, you don't even have to count your decimal place values unless you want to. You just multiply like normal. 2 times 4, 8. 1 times 4 is 4. I know 48 is nowhere near 4, right? So that tells me my answer is illogical. So what if I put my decimal place here? 48 hundredths, that is less than 1, which is nowhere near 4. Again, illogical. So what if I put my decimal here in the middle? 4 and 8/10 is pretty close to 4. So that tells me my answer makes sense and it's logical. Now, if you have a problem with more than one decimal point, we'll show you that here. And you can actually combine the two strategies just to make sure that your product is correct. And I'll do that here. So ignore this problem for now. We'll just work on the side of the screen. What if I have a problem like 3 and 2/10 times 1 and 6/10, right? So before I start my reasoning and estimation strategy, I can count my two decimal places, 1, 2. So I know I should have two decimal places in my product. Then I can round both of my factors. 2 tells me to stay put. 3 and 2/10 rounds down to 3. 6 tells me to raise the score. So 1 and 6/10 rounds up to 2. 3 times 2, of course, is 6. My product should be about 6. Now you just do what you normally do, which you're so good at. You multiply just like normal. Please do not shoot these decimal points straight down. Remember, that is not a strategy that we use when we multiply decimals. That's why I'm showing you these two ways to make sure your decimal goes in the right place. So everything multiplying by the first digit, 2 times 6, 12, carry that 1. 3 times 6, 18, plus 1 is 19. Done with the 6, done with that tens place value, add a 0 as my placeholder. Now everything by this place value, 2 times 1, 2, 3 times 1 is 3. Last step, of course, is to add 2 plus 0, 2. 9 plus 2, 11, carry the 1. 3 plus 1 plus 1, 3, 4, 5, 5, right? I see my estimate is 6, which tells me, can I put my decimal here? 512 thousandths, nowhere near 6. What if I put it here? 5 and 12 hundredths. That seems like my closest answer to 6, which is correct. So use these two strategies. Go back and check your work from yesterday and use this to check your work today as you're multiplying decimals. Good luck.